Okay, welcome everybody to episode 52. Can't believe it's 52. What you gonna do with episode 52? Puff, you know the game. Who do we got?
Yes. I'm going to go with Mike Green. He was one of the more modern day offensive defensemen. Like he was almost like a forward out there. And he had a few seasons with the Capitals where he was pretty elite, but his plus minus, I don't think, was always the best. He was on for a lot of goals for and against. As Ray Ferraro's old coach told him, you're dangerous at both ends.
That's right. So Green, would that be with Green, or did he have an E at the end?
Green, yes.
Yeah, just a normal Green. Yeah. Defense, like I always thought that being defense would be a good move in youth hockey because everyone wants to be a forward and a center. And I feel like if you want to make your chances a little bit better to make the team that you want to make, play defense. What do you think about that comment?
Yeah, no, for sure. And also sometimes there's kids that are playing a position and then they try a different position and it's almost like a whole another level they reach. Like it's sometimes they're plateauing a bit at some spot and then they'll try something else and all of a sudden they'll find a new passion for it. So I think it's important also for kids to play all positions. I know everyone tries
when they're younger, but then
when they're younger, but even as an older player or whatever, like Barrett actually played very little defense. We've tried to get him to play, but he's just, and Austin's been the opposite. He's played very little.
He plays
forward.
Defense. Yeah. So, Ozzy started as defense and then moved to forward, but now I have a reset with Clive, right? So like I'm back. I'm not even in the G yet. Like we got a whole decade in front of us with Cliver. But he's just, we're kind of sorting out where he is. But in my head, I'm like, he could just be a really strong D and sit back there. And I think that's great.
Teams always are looking for good D.
It's just like bands are always looking for good bass players. Everyone wants to be a singer, a guitar player, drummer. Yeah. I always say, if you're going to join a band, if you want to join a good band, play bass because they're always looking for bass players. So,
yeah, that's fair.
Same thing. If you're looking for D, if you want to join a hockey team, if you're the D, you generally have a better chance, I would say.
And if you want to be an NHL defenseman, be a right shot D. It's almost becoming like a left-handed pitcher.
Oh, really?
Everyone's looking for right shot Ds.
Right shot D.
Yeah.
There you go. Right shot D. That's my new punk band name. Okay. So Puff, what did you get up to this weekend? How are your games? How's everything going for you in the G and the teams you've got?
Ticats has been a little bit of a down week, I got to be honest. Since we last spoke, the little Ticats, we've lost 3 games in our league. We're in tough. We're right now the bottom team, and everyone else is good. There's no real other team that's kind of weaker. So, but the kids are doing great. Like they're battling, they're competing. We're getting better, and the losses are piling up a little bit, but I think everyone's staying pretty positive. And then Barrett's team, which usually is quite successful. We lost Friday night at North Toronto Arena. North Toronto, got to give them a lot of credit. Their team's gotten a lot better this year, and they're getting really good results. And they beat us 4-3. And then we played the Bruins, a big rival, on Sunday at Scarborough Village, and we scored late. Barrett actually scored the goal, which is pretty cool to tie it 3-3. So not a lot of points, but hopefully we get it going this week.
Nice. Okay,
how about your Ted Reeve Thunder?
Ted Reeve Thunder. Well, so that's Ozzy's team, the older team. Since we've last talked, we've had 3 games. Forest Hill loss. So last year it was them and Avenue Road Ducks that were like 1-2. It felt like, and then Don Mills sort of gets in that mix. That's our 1-2-3 punch in our league: is Avenue Road Ducks, Forest Hill Force, and Don Mills Mustangs. And so we've played all 3 in the last 10 days, and we've lost all 3. Now, I would say our game against both Don Mills and our game against Forest Hill, honestly, I think there was opportunities for us to get ahead. They're great teams. They're good, but I feel like we can play against them. Avenue Road Ducks are just, at this point, they just seem to be at another level of play. And they've got a couple good players, in particular Jacobs, who is
Mackey too. Mackey's a good player too.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them now. And so and also when you have someone like that and you get that heartbeat going and you get that movement going on a team, that momentum just kind of continues on. So we're not necessarily a team that we get a little intimidated, I think, sometimes, I guess, with those kinds of, walking into those games. So sometimes we come in at a disadvantage, I think, a bit more mentally than anything. But yeah, they were good games. And then we won on Sunday against Goulding Park, I should say, where we did a little history last week, which was a good game. And then we actually came up short. We played last night York Mills, and who we had beaten our home opener. But I don't know if it was a late start for us, if we were just, I don't know. Again, the energy you can feel on the ice was different for us last night, and so we ended up having a loss. But a great win for our good friends, the Demetrescu's, who are on the York Mills team, and so they won. And so we didn't have a great week either. We're heading into Montreal tomorrow for a tournament where we'll be playing all GTHL teams, basically. No, well, again, it goes back to this thing about, we don't hit in single A. It's the only league with no hitting, really, is the single A GTHL. So you really have a hard time finding tournaments to join. So, when you do join these tournaments, you're usually playing the teams that you play all the time. So we're up against it with, a few teams from the West and a couple with ours. But
at least it's some teams in the West.
Yeah. And there's a Whitby team we're playing. So, there's a few here and there. And then Clive, who's Ted Reef Tornadoes, because he's not quite at the level of play of the Thunder yet, is they've had a couple games, quarter ice. We played the West Mall Lightning.
How'd you do?
Etobicoke. We did not win. We're finding our footwork on that team. It's a new team. They were together a bit last year. They were B level. We're trying to get in the A level. So we've changed some things up. So it's coming. Slow start, but only one way to go up. But I will say West Mall, which is the Etobicoke Centennial Arena, I think, which is out by Centennial Park, which is, fun fact, I learned how to ski right behind it. There's a ski hill there, which is like, it doesn't look like a ski hill, but that's where I learned how to ski. Maybe the best pro shop, one of the best pro shops I've seen. It's one of those classic, like under the stairs, lots of stuff hanging, like a older gentleman that's been there for a long time with like funny signs and like,
that's great.
Those little like ones that are tucked away kind of thing. And you're like, oh, this one's been around for a long, long time.
Yeah.
West Mall's got that one going on, and I thought it was pretty good. And made me think about our conversation that we had, which is around, I think the GTHL should have a store, just like Real Sports. We've talked about this.
Yeah.
Where, like, if, say, Scotia Pond had a store where you could get, like, a Connor McDavid Marbles jersey made.
That'd be amazing.
Or I don't know who else. Like
Eric Lindros, Young Nats.
There you go. Jersey made. And then, you could buy hats and all that stuff there. I think
a little bucket hat like you're wearing.
You like that hat? I got that hat at the for those watching on YouTube, you can see it. It's Grateful Dead Blue Jays hat that I got on Grateful Dead Day at the Blue Jays today. So in my theme of always trying to wear a different hat, that's what I came up with today. But GTHL store, in favor, you, yes or no?
Yes, I am in favor of it.
Yes.
I might spend too much money there.
Right. But then you could go buy, like, for you guys, like, East Ender stuff is there too. So you could find like new shirt or whatever there too. Because home teams would buy stuff.
Because I always do say like EastEnders is great. They'll have these little windows when you can, this EastEnder store's open, you can buy. Well, of course, I see that email and I completely just forget, even though I want to buy stuff. And then all of a sudden, it'll come up and be like, 6 days left or something. And I, again, blow through it. And then all of a sudden I'll think to buy something and it's closed. So this way, if I just had to show up a shop old school, I would be able to purchase whatever I needed.
Yeah.
And also if kids, sometimes kids move different organizations. And so this gives them an opportunity to quickly get
some new stuff. Yeah. And if our conversation from last year, you had some trades, imagine the GTHL had some trades and you get trades this season, you can go over there. So I'm in favor of a store. I think suggestion box for the G is maybe open a little store, use all the rights for all the teams. It'd be pretty cool to have a GTHL store in favor.
It would be pretty sweet if you could get your favorite ref uniform. Like I could get a half a G.
I'd get a half a G too.
That would be sweet.
Jersey for sure.
Or the referee that's messed up your games the most, and then you could get it and yell at him with his jersey.
Burn it out in the parking lot. Yeah. Just kidding.
Never.
So I will say one thing though, and I'm going to self-promote on this one for a moment.
Okay.
Game against Golding Park where we were winning,
Mm-hmm.
standing behind the net. For those that know Ted Reeve, I usually stand under the scoreboard in Ted Reeve Arena. One of our team members comes down, takes a shot. The goalie reflects it. It shoots up. It goes up over the boards and up over the net. And I caught it bare hand, right off the flick.
That shows that you were locked into the game too.
Locked.
You weren't on your phone.
No,
you
wasn't
weren't
on my
having
phone.
a conversation with somebody else.
No,
you were locked.
Yeah, just one-handed it in, and it was felt pretty good. I felt like peak, youth hockey dad at that moment there.
I mean,
if I had fumbled it would have been bad. But
last night we had at the World Series, there was a couple of Yankee fans who tried to get involved in the action. Did you see that?
No.
Oh, it's been everywhere today. So Mookie Betts went into the crowd to catch a ball.
Okay.
A foul ball, and he caught it. And then two Yankee fans grabbed his arm and tried to pull the ball out to take the out away.
Right.
And
sure.
it was a pretty good scene. They kicked them out.
Of course.
But apparently one of them went to college and knows Rob Gronkowski, the former tight end for the Patriots.
Oh, Gronk or whatever.
Gronk, yeah. So that's not surprising.
He's got a reputation of being like that a bit. One other thing is correction. Last week we were talking about Golding Park, continuing on this theme here, and I said I think they have a mall up there, Upper Canada Mall or something. I was corrected by Ed. So Ed on our team, it's Center Point Mall.
That is true.
Yes, and he said that's the mall that it is. So
Center Point Mall.
Editorial correction on the To the Rink podcast on what mall we referenced last time.
I should have known that. Like that was mall.
Did you grow up there?
Yeah. Well, my high school was like 5 minutes from there.
Yeah,
but I didn't go to that mall very often. I lived right across from Bayview Village, so if I needed anything from a mall, I was going there.
Yeah, and you went to Bray Buff, right? Is that what you say? Ray
Buff College.
Ray Buff.
Bray. BRE.
Yeah.
BEUF.
Yeah, I had a friend that went to that school, and it was like the first time he used to say it to me, and I was like, I never heard of it, and said it. And then he spelt it one time. I was like, what is this word? Like, what is Bray Buff? Like, anyway, it's a weird word.
Jean de Brebeuf. He was a Jesuit leader. I should probably know more.
Funny you asked, Puff.
Funny, if you drop some Brebeuf Jesuit on us right now,
I don't have that one. I don't have a funny you asked for this episode right now. But I can get that one done if you want.
No, I think we're good.
So yeah. So what else was I going to say? A couple other notes here. GTHL store. So yeah. So with that, Puff, anything else you got for the week, or let's maybe jump into the stock market?
Sure.
Yeah. Let's bring in Stoff. Let's hear what's going on in the G. Why people tune in. They want to hear their teams called out by Puff and by Stoff. And see where the rankings sit. So here he is, the man of the hour.
Oh, yes, gentlemen. It's time once again for the stock market. And with the GTHL season hitting another gear as the standings are starting to take shape, with the top teams rising and the lower teams not rising as much. We're still trying to figure things out. But as always, let's start with the U16 AAA division. And can we get an update on my Vaughan Kings, Puffy? Tell me some good news.
Well, Stoff, I am happy to report your Vaughan Kings are continuing their fine start with the longest current winning streak in the division at 5 games, thanks to last night's 4-1 upset win over the first place Toronto Titans, who were previously unbeaten in league play. There is a clear top 4 now in the U16 AAA with DMF, Toronto Titans, JRC, and Vaughan Kings, and this is going to go down to the wire. A fascinating watch all season.
So I was there last night, and I saw the very tail end of the Titans Vaughan Kings game, like the last 30 seconds, really. And they were happy they won for sure. The Kings and the Titans were looking down. They were not having the game that I thought they were going to have.
That's a pretty big upset. Those Titans don't lose very often.
No.
Vaughan Kings top 4, soon to become top 1. Well, Puffy, a big AAA tourney took place last week in Toronto at Chesswood and Scotia Pond Arenas. The JRC Tyler Cragg Memorial Tournament hosted AAA teams from across North America from U11 to U15. How did the G teams do?
Stuff they actually did pretty well. We can go through all the age groups. U15 will start where the host JRC made it to the final against, I'm going to try this, Estacadis de la Maurice. They're a Quebec team from Trois-Rivières. You can't get any more international than that name. After falling behind 2-0, JRC battled back to tie the game at 2 and force overtime. But a Jacob Royer shorthanded goal late in the first overtime won it for the visitors from Trois-Rivières. JRC's Kane Kluche, one of the top prospects in the 2010 age group, finished third in tournament scoring with 7 goals and 11 points in 6 games. U14 saw an all-G final with the top 2 ranked teams in Ontario, the Vaughan Kings and JRC, meeting in the final. A back-and-forth game saw the Kings take the lead for good on a Thomas Luxic power play goal early in the third. The Kings added a late goal to win it 4-2 to take home the title. The Kings also led the way with the top 3 point getters in the tournament, with Nico Farragas scoring the most points, 8 goals and 14 points in 7 games. U13, it's one of my favorite divisions in all of the GTHL, and no surprise, another all-G final. And once again, it's the top 2 ranked teams in Ontario. Number 1 ranked North York Rangers jumped out to a 3-0 lead with a Josh Hackett unassisted goal early in the third period. But 2 Nate DeGazzo third period goals brought the Canadians within 1. But that's as close as they would come, with the Rangers hanging on for the 3-2 win over their arch rivals. The Rangers' Matt Delineo finished as the tournament's top scorer with 5 goals and 13 points in 6 games. U12 saw our first international final with the Toronto Marlboros facing the Chicago Reapers, who are a very strong team down in the U.S. The Marlboros took a 3-1 lead into the third period before the Reapers pulled within a goal early in the third. However, a Jackson Ross goal with 5:33 left in the third cemented the win and the title for the Canadian boys. Despite not making the final, the young Nats' Eric Wang led all tournament scorers with 8 goals and 15 points in just 6 games. And finally, U11 and another all-G final, but this time the host JRC facing the second-ranked in Ontario young Nats. This one could not have been closer, with it coming down to a shootout. It took 6 shooters to settle this game, with Corey Zeri scoring the winner. Congrats to the Nats goalie Tyson Cameron for making 3 big saves in the shootout win.
Ooh, shouting at your cousin there, are you?
Well, I figured if the Cameron's involved positively, we got to get him in there.
Positively being the operative word.
Yes, if it was a negative, we would have buried it.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of positives, we have now fully covered the AAA circuit. But what team in the AA circuit is making an early statement in the G-Puff?
Well, Stoff, in the U12 2013 age group out west, the Mississauga Beast are rolling this season, ranked number 1 in Ontario, and not surprisingly leading the West with a perfect 7-0 record. However, the team that has caught my attention is the one just behind them, also with a perfect 6-0 record, the Greater Toronto Capitals. A year ago, the Caps finished 4th in the West, 19 points behind the first-place Beast. A mid-November game against the Beast should prove if this year's Capitals are for real, but I'm betting this won't be the last time we are talking about this up-and-coming team.
Probably not the last time, Puffy. Probably not the last time. Speaking of which, earlier this season, you talked about the U15 2010 Single A Scarborough Ice Raiders and their terrific start to the season. Is there another team in that age group making a move up the standings and rankings? Tell me.
Yes. Yes, there is, Stoff, and the 2010 Ted Reeve Thunder is the team. It has not been all sunshine and rainbows for the Thunder organization in this age group, and for a single A team that has had back-to-back 10th place finishes in the East. This year, however, a completely different story. A potent offense at one end and an airtight D at the other has the Thunder undefeated in league play and top spot in the East, and 6th in the Ontario U15 single A non-contact rankings. A couple of big games ahead against North Toronto and the Toronto Arrows, but this Thunder team might be the best thing coming out of Ted Reeve Arena these days, excluding the fries and gravy.
Ooh, too soon, Puffy. Too soon.
The fries
Taking
and gravy
shots
are
at the
always
fries and
tops in
gravy.
that arena.
All right,
I tried
all right.
4 fries and gravy this week, just as an FYI. On Sunday night, I
Okay.
was running around, didn't have dinner, so I was like, Ozzy had a game at 8 at Ted Reeve Sunday night. I was heading there. I was like, tonight's the night. I got to do and I was going to film it, stuff for our fry ranking.
Content.
It was all ready. I walk in, maybe 10 after 8, quarter after 8, closed.
What?
Ouch.
Closed. Yeah.
Ouch.
No dinner.
I've had a few of the Ticats on Barrett's team offer up their services to be tasters.
Okay.
For
We'll
our
tell
fries.
them to film it. We need a ranking out of 5, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
They can film it. We can post it. We'll talk about it. So this is a call for anyone who wants to send us a video of them tasting fries. We need to know where the fries were from, ranking out of 5, and maybe a price point, and then maybe any other thing. So we can have a nice ranking, a couple things to rank them on. What do you think?
Preferably not Ted Reeve Arena, since we've got that one covered pretty well.
We got that one locked in.
Do you guys ever just run in for fries? No game?
I have. I'm tempted to with Ted Reeve. Yeah.
All right.
I'm in the area.
I've not done that, but I was waiting for Puffy to say yes. He has done that.
Absolutely.
Coming home from work.
It's our dream, though. Puffy and I have talked about this off and stuff. You're in if you want to be. Is taking the Ted Reeve snack bar and taking it over and turning it into a sports bar that's open 7 days a week.
Yeah.
That has a glass window into the arena, but it also now serves a wide variety of menu and booze and is like a classic sports bar in the arena. So if you want to be a partner, we can call it To the Rink.
With Puffy, I can only imagine there's at the table gambling as well.
Yes, we'll have a little part of the room will be set up for Bet365
Sportsbook. Yeah, I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
Get them early. All right, boys. Well, this was another riveting edition of the Stoff Market. Looking forward to next week.
Thanks, Stoff. Now, Puff, with the Stoff Market, there's a big divide in teams playing. Some are like hot streaks; they're winning. They're in the top. Because as they get older, basically, there's the top 4 or 5 or 6 teams, and then there's the bottom 4 or 5, 6 teams, and they always sort of stay there. Do you have a point of view on like teams playing in the right level? Playing at the, is there some sort of thought around that?
I mean, it seems to always become a bit of a conversation point for parents around this time of the year, because there'll obviously be teams off to a good start and teams off to a weaker start, and parents will start saying like, oh, this team shouldn't be in our loop or whatever. This team's not good enough, and it's always surprising me, because every league in the world that does any sport, there's always a team that's doing really well, and there's always a team that's not doing as well. I mean, that's just the way it always works out. I mean, I'm in a men's league hockey league, and we do a draft so that we can get the teams as even as possible. And we still have a team that's winning all the time, and we still have a team that happens to be my team this year that's losing all the time. Yeah. So, I mean, parents will say, okay, well, there's, the bottom 4 teams in AAA really don't belong in AAA. And that's fine. Okay, let's take them out. And then the 7th and 8th team, well, now they're going to become the bottom teams. And guess what? When they're playing those top teams, they're going to lose all the time. Right. So they're just going to become the bad team. Yeah. And now those teams that drop down, well, now they're going to be the really good teams, and the teams that were the really good teams at AA, well, guess what? Now you're the teams losing all the time. So unless you want to create like 15 different divisions,
right? There's a domino effect, is what you're saying.
Yeah, you're always going to have a pretty decent discrepancy between the top teams and the bottom teams when you have 3 levels covering a whole province or a whole world, basically.
And it can change at any time, because, for us, for instance, we were 2 years ago, we were in the finals with Don Mills, but now Avenue Road and Forest Hill are the top teams in our division, or, pretty much should be. And so teams change. It's just like the NHL. The teams change over time. They get new players. That happens in the G2. So
look at it. We talked about Ted Reeve. Last 2 years at U15 single A, they finished 10th place. And now they're like the top team, or right there with the top teams. Right. And, it's not some big change. Maybe they added a few different players, but some kids get better. and develop. So unless you want to have 15 different divisions, I think we're pretty safe to say teams can be where they are.
Yeah. I guess this is true in the CDL thing that we're in with Clive or CDS. Actually, and I believe there's a CDP out in the west side, I was told, because we played the West Mall Lightning and we played 3/4 ice. And when I asked, they said, "Oh, they're the CDP, which is Canadian Development Program, I think is what that stands for." Okay. And so anyway, I guess we haven't won anything yet, and we've been lower. You know, it's hard to tell because half the ice is this game, half the ice is that game. But I guess we're trying to get into the A division. You know, we don't want to be tiered down at halfway through the year either. So that's the pressure on us as well for that.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of pressure that coaches definitely will feel in those years. I remember when Tanya's team, she was trying to keep them in tier 2, and they weren't doing well, and they got bumped down to tier 3, and it was, it's a big deal to all the parents, So it is hard at those ages.
Yeah. So we'll see where it goes. So, but yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. And, we're already talking about what will be next year for like our U10, and what path will go on that. So it's amazing how quickly that stuff happens. That's for sure. And I sent you an email, for those that don't know, so for whatever reason with Clive, and he's not like the most amazing player. In fact, he's middle of the pack. He's a big kid, but he's not. We get these random emails about joining a AAA Spring League team already right now. What's your take on those, Puff? Because I've never met the person. I'm getting them randomly. Somehow they've got our email. I didn't respond, but what's your thought on that? Like, I don't have a point of view on it.
We had a pretty positive experience when the kids were younger, especially with Barrett. Because it was our first kid, so we were kind of new to the whole circle, and we got hooked up with Reed Acton, who runs Beast, and he's head coach of the 2010 Flyers. Reed's a great guy, and
he was on the pod.
Yeah, well, yeah, Reed was on the pod last year, and so the thing that we liked about it is we actually got to meet a lot of different families from different organizations that we wouldn't have otherwise met. And Barrett got to play with, good players and at a good level. But it was mostly about us and him meeting new people. But the hockey can be a little bit all over the place. They love to throw. No one can throw the word elite around like a spring program. They love that word. So elite. And then because elite is for the top kids, well, then the next level isn't AA. No, now that's AAA. Right, so then the second level is then triple. That's why all this stuff's just like it doesn't. It's so, and then like, double, and then so it's like so now there's elite. So the spring is where you'll hear the word elite, and then it really builds up to the brick year, which I believe is their 11-year-old year.
The brick,
which is in Edmonton, and that is those
that's for U11. And they're like an all-star team coming from different provinces, put together by who gets to become the coach of that team? Like, who picks that team?
I know Pro Hockey Development is involved with it, with those teams. I think it's Toronto. We would see Barrett never, or Austin, neither of us, we never were even in that circle. But Pro Hockey Development is behind it, I believe. Okay. And they usually, I know one of the teams is Toronto Bulldogs. I think there's 2 Toronto teams.
We saw my wife's cousin, they live in Winnipeg, and his daughter is going to be on the brick team, but they do it at 13 or 14, the girls division.
Okay. At the girls division, they do a little.
Yeah, so she's going to be on Team Winnipeg, I guess, or Team Manitoba. I don't know what that's
called. What's crazy is that it's not like there'll be Toronto kids playing for like Team Northeast USA, because that's the one they could get on. Like it's not, and there'll be, I'm sure there's kids from outside of Toronto that are playing on the Toronto brick teams. This is a lot different than what Clive. I think that if it's not a bad thing to do. Don't get looped into like doing 4 or 5 tournaments, but 1 or 2 tournaments.
1 or 2. Maybe I'll look at the Beast. Maybe I'll give Reed a call and see.
And Reed runs a great program, so Beast.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that. All right. We're coming to the end of it. It's been a hectic week. We're off to Montreal. I have no idea
Yes.
who we're playing. I do actually, but again, completely unprepared, and I'll know when I get there. But we're taking the train, so that's going to be exciting. So tomorrow, we're leaving Toronto around 3:15, heading to Montreal. Get there around 8:15. We have one car, the sixth car, on the number 66 train, heading
Oh,
to
nice.
Montreal for the weekend. Yeah, it'll be good. I think the boys will have a good time. We have a lot of early games, but I think the boys are excited to be a little bit older in their teenage years, able to walk around Montreal. So, that's always going to be
a little bit dangerous.
A little dangerous, like not too dangerous, but a little dangerous. That's for sure.
Yes, a little dangerous. Make sure the curfews, you got to have a curfew because they have early games too.
They have very early games. So, yeah. So
remind the kids it's a business trip.
It is a business trip.
They're there to win, not just to screw.
Yeah. And then we come back and we're right into it. We got a busy November. I don't know. We have like a ton of games in November too. So it'll be a good run. And then I'm in Buffalo 2 or 3 weeks from now for my first Gene Harrington, or the first Gene Harrington of the year for me. Yeah. With Cliver down Buffalo for a couple nights again. So
always a favorite.
We're busy. November.
We got Silver Sticks. We got a Silver Stick coming up in 2 weeks in Georgina, which is near Tanny's parents. And then Austin, we're going to Guelph for a tournament there.
Oh, yeah. I love Guelph.
Yeah. There's lots of Silver Sticks are happening now. This weekend, a bunch of teams from the G are going to Stratford. We've played in that one before. It's a good.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, we've never been in a Silver Stick ever.
Yeah. Silver Stick's fun.
Yeah, we've never been in one. Guelph, good for you. Well, like Guelph's a fun town, so let me know if you need anything.
Never been to Guelph.
You've never been to Guelph?
Never been to Guelph.
Like never even been to the town, just driving to Kitchener?
Never.
It's a great town. You would love Guelph. You would love Guelph.
I'm gonna try and get out and about. Although I'm coaching, see, it's different when you're going to a tournament as a coach than when you're going as just a parent. Parent, you can get after it.
Yeah, well, the Trappers Alley and the Palace and all the bars downtown. My boy Bobby DeHoo and Tony DiBattista can take care of you if you're down there.
Oh, nice.
Let me know.
Characters.
No, they run that town. All right. Well, with that, song of the week, what do you got? What do you got for me this week?
This song, I literally just found this singer a couple days ago, but loving his whole vibe in this song. The song is called "Are You Looking Up?" and it is by Mick G. Do you know Mick G?
Mick G, MCG.
No, it's MKGEE.
Oh, yeah. I don't. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. I think I went and listened to him like 6 months ago for a day and never went back. But yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, it's good. You like it?
Yes.
Yeah, nice. Good for you. Okay, I'll have to check that one out. Mick G. What's the song called?
Are You Looking Up?
Are you looking up? Head up in the corners. Is that what they say in hockey?
Yeah. Keep your head up.
Keep your head up. Yeah. All right. Well, mine is going to be maybe a cringy song, but a song that's on point right now that I hear a lot of, which is "We Bring the Boom" by AJ and the Rizzler and all that stuff.
God. I don't like this group of people.
I have to say it because it's just so remarkable. I don't even really like the song, but the vibe of this crew of Justice or whatever, the Big Justice, AJ and the Rizzler, like it's hilarious to me. It's like I get why people like it, but I can't explain it. Do you know what I mean?
The worry though is now with social media, like it used to be 15 minutes of fame, but now these things are getting extended. That Hawk Tua girl is still bouncing around. Like I'm just worried these people are going to be part of our lives for a lot longer than we need them.
Oh yeah. They're definitely going to be sticking around for sure. But it's like a C or D actor back in the 80s. You know, they stick around. They show up at a certain thing. You know, a Celebrity Apprentice episode or something like that. But but yeah. So I'm just doing it out of timing. I actually don't really even like the song too much, but I know the kids are giving booms on everything. Yeah, they give the booms to everything, and a couple kids scored the other day, and they did like the boom dance on the ice.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. So I know there's a bit of phenomenon. So I'm just trying to be hip with the scene right now, there, Puff. But,
it's.
I'm sure it will end.
Ozzy did tell me that at Ted Reeve practice, the boys like to practice their sellies.
Did it? Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We spent a little too much time on that, not practicing.
15 minutes of sellies.
We got to spend a little bit more time on back checking. But no, we got the selly when we get it. But anyway, with that, anything else, Puff, for the week?
No, all good. Like, as I was saying, lots of tournaments coming up. There's a reps tournament in Toronto if people are looking for some, I think U10 to U15 AAA. The old Shanny, we talked about it last year. The Shanny tournament.
We should get some of those dates in our calendar, like the All-Star game and stuff, because we should go this year. Like, I know it kind of snuck up on us, but we should actually plan to go, and maybe we'll see someone from the G that will talk to us, because 52 episodes in, not a peep.
We're going to corner them.
They do not talk to us. That's okay.
We're going to be like one of those Geraldo interviews from the 80s.
Just like storm them and just walk right
with the phone in on him.
He's got one of those mics on a boom with like it looks like a raccoon tail hanging from it. Anyway. All right, cool. Well, good to see you. Have a great weekend. I'll be gone. I'm off on a train tomorrow. But we'll see you after the weekend. And everyone have a great weekend.
Thornhill Arena right now. Cats versus the Islanders.
Nice.
55.
Nice. Good one.
Games are too late now.
It's no win. It's a no-win situation, Puff, because I complain about the one side where I have a 5:00 game at Scotia Pond on a Wednesday, and then the very next breath, I complain that I have a 9:10 game at Ted Reeve on a Sunday. You can't win. It's a non-win situation. I was thinking about that the other night, but anyway. All right. Well, everyone, thanks for listening. You can listen to us on everything possible. Apple and Spotify and YouTube for sure. And Instagram. You have any comments, questions, send us a note. We respond pretty quickly. And everyone have a great game and a great weekend full of games. Stoff, thanks so much. Thanks for joining To The Rink podcast. We'll talk to you soon.